You are being warned and called to a greater mission by Chosen One, a powerful voice from the depths of the endless cosmos. You are approaching one of the most significant turning periods in history, according to this call. You will be the last prophet. Therefore, feel the divine fire inside you. Your power is more captivating and transforming than anybody could ever realize. And your destiny is waiting for you. Whatever occurs, whatever challenges you encounter, everything will show your strength, faith, and truth. Every word you say will sparkle like a star. And keep in mind that the cosmos is watching you the whole time. It's your turn now. Are you prepared? Write 77 in the comments right now if you're ready. It's almost impossible to see the weight of their incredulity. The astonished quiet, the hesitant looks, the knowledge that their little plan had fallen apart in front of them. They put a lot of effort into crafting whispers and half-truths in the hopes that they would ensnare you, but instead, they served as stepping stones for your rise. You're out there, doing well, attracting people who know authenticity when they see it, while they congregate in their echo chambers, repeating the same old stories. Irony has the power to reverse the situation, doesn't it? The exact thing that was intended to make you less became the force that lifted you beyond their grasp. Regardless of their efforts to steer the story, it eventually made its way to you. Every grin shared in private, and every whispered lie just served to increase your visibility. Others saw the truth towering taller the more they focused on bringing you down. There was no denying the disparity. You lived in light, while others worked in darkness. Their efforts to stifle your presence just made your indisputable nature shine brighter. They sought to control how others would view you, but perception is the domain of the observer, and what they saw in you was uncontrollable power. Allow them to continue their ineffective murmurs. They are just reflections of their own shortcomings. You are freed from places that were never intended for you by gossip, not imprisoned. Their remarks expose the insignificance of their own world, not yours. What they meant to be a weapon turned into a demonstration of your fortitude. You never needed their approval, and now that they see how successful you are, it's obvious they never had the authority they believed they had. Life might seem like a hurricane at times, don't you think? Everything seems to be against you as the clouds sweep in and the winds blow hard. But, friends, let me tell you something. You have deep roots, much like the powerful oak tree that endures even the strongest winds. Nothing can knock you down if you remain true to who you are and cling to that unwavering truth inside. You may feel the pressure, hear the murmurs of doubt, and see the efforts to unsettle you. They were like the winds attempting to uproot that oak tree with their coordinated efforts at sabotage. However, didn't they only distinguish you? They just revealed your strength and unwavering character. What they intended to disturb you and what they believed would shatter you instead served to highlight how firmly anchored you are in your true self. You see, their attempts to misrepresent you and make you seem different really had the opposite effect. They believed they could destroy you, but all they succeeded in doing was solidifying your existence. It resembled the polishing of a diamond. What they saw as a weakness actually enhanced your brilliance. They offered you something valuable, a platform, in their unrelenting quest to see you fall. You didn't play their game, did you? The more they attempted to divert your course, the more they revealed their own frailties. You weren't intended to be broken, therefore, they couldn't break you. By attempting to destroy you, they exposed their true selves to the world. They strengthened your standing in the process. All you had to do was stick by your convictions, yet they exposed their weakness and insecurity. If divine love is abundant in your heart, now is the moment to share it. It resembles the tale of a potter using clay. The clay is molded and formed while the potter's wheel rotates. The potter works the clay by pressing, squeezing, and perhaps stretching it to its breaking point. However, what takes place? The clay remains intact. No, my friends, it turns into something powerful and lovely. And you are just that. They can crush and push you, but they can't break you. Beyond their wildest expectations, you are being molded into something bigger. The problem is that they only succeeded in lifting you up when they attempted to bring you down. You see, what held you in place was their obsession with your demise. They were really boosting you up, even though they believed they were bringing you down. It is like to a butterfly in its cocoon. It is not a sign of weakness to push against the barriers and fight to break free. It's an indication of power and change. And when the butterfly escapes, it soars to heights it never would have dreamed possible. Have you ever observed a tree's growth? It's there, towering and proud. The tree remains steadfast despite the storms, howling winds, and rain that surround it. Because of its deep roots, the tree continues to develop regardless of how strong the winds and storm are. Why? Due to the fact that it does not yield to the storm. Through it, it grows. And that tree is just like you, my friends. No storm, no hurdle, and no person can pull you from your roots because they are so deep. Their game wasn't necessary for you to participate. You didn't have to be as low as they were. You know, we are under constant pressure to compete and to get down with those who are trying to bring us down. However, you didn't. No, you remained loyal to yourself. You are unstoppable because you have remained steadfast in that divine truth. You didn't let their games to take your mind off of the mission God has given you. You didn't allow their plots stop you from achieving your goals. You are unshakable because you have remained committed to the course that God has laid out for you. They believed they were tampering with the game. They believed they were manipulating events, playing their cards, and attempting to get what they wanted. They were playing directly into your hands, however, and they were unaware of it. You were one step ahead of your opponent, much like a skilled chess player who anticipates their moves. They didn't even comprehend the level at which you were operating. Every action they took, and every effort to defeat you, simply pushed you go closer to winning. The lovely thing is that the more they attempted to bring you down, the higher you rose. Take a time to consider it. The thing that has been uplifting you is the same thing that they believed would ruin you. It melts the metal, much like a furnace. It is not destroyed by the heat. It makes it pure. It makes it stronger. And they only succeeded in making your light shine brighter each time they attempted to extinguish it. They were unaware that they weren't the source of your brightness. It had nothing to do with their strategies or their approval. The source of your illumination is much higher. The Creator is the source of it. It is the light of your destiny, the light of truth, and the light of purpose, and it will never be extinguished by darkness. Have you ever seen the formation of a pearl inside an oyster? It begins as a little item, a grain of sand, or even something bothersome. The sand particle is not resisted by the oyster. It envelops it. It takes time, but eventually something lovely is produced. That little bit of sand, which would have been uncomfortable, turns into a pearl and a priceless item. And God is doing just that in your life. You are being shaped by the stresses, difficulties, and things that appear to be intended to break you. These are the things that are setting you up for something greater, more exquisite, and unavoidable. They are only demonstrating your strength to the world when they attempt to shatter you or bring you down, you see. It resembles the shaping of a diamond under pressure. The diamond is not destroyed by the pressure. No, it makes it better. It highlights its genius. That's what's going on in your life at the moment. The difficulties, the times when you feel like you can't continue, aren't supposed to break you. Their purpose is to strengthen you. They are intended to polish you and bring forth your greatest qualities. You are being molded into something that cannot be ignored, much like that diamond that begins as a rough stone. With every adjustment and hardship, God is molding you into the person you are today. You are being prepared for the grandeur that lies ahead by Him. And let me tell you something. No one can take away what He is accomplishing in you. They cannot stop what God has planned for you, no matter how hard they try or how much they conspire. They may plot and strategize, but it will only make you more radiant. You'll stand higher as a result. It will cause you to ascend higher. As they say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And that's precisely what's true. Every obstacle, every adversity, every time they attempted to undermine you, you have only grown stronger. You've only become stronger. And it's not just for you, that power. For everyone who is observing you. It's for everyone who witnesses your unwavering perseverance in the face of hardship. You're not only getting by, you're doing well. You're not only following the rules, you're developing. God is shaping you into the person He has called you to be. And let me remind you that nothing in this world can stop you from pursuing your goals and fulfilling the role that God has given you. People could attempt to undermine you. They could attempt to dissuade you. However, they are just laying the groundwork for your achievement. They're pushing you up, but they're not aware of it. You're being elevated by them because you continue to go ahead despite their attempts to stop you. Therefore, don't back down when the storms, howling winds, and rain approach. God is utilizing all of that pressure to transform you into something beautiful. So stand tall and steadfast. He is molding you into something unavoidable, something that will be seen to everyone. And the more they attempt to undermine you, the more they will realize how beautiful and strong God has made you. They're refining you. You're being shaped, and you're meant to shine, my buddy. Now, it's simple to get engrossed in what other people are doing, isn't it? It's simple to get sidetracked and let those things to affect you when others attempt to bring you down, toss stones, or talk. However, I want you to pay attention to this. Keep your focus on the goal. Don't allow their games to divert you from your goals. Even though they can attempt to divert you, you are not just playing the same game as them. You've advanced to a new level. The regulations are different, and you're in a new arena. You have been summoned to a higher level by God. Furthermore, nothing can stop you if you remain loyal to yourself and your objective. They are unable to control you. You are not under their power. Furthermore, they are unable to halt what is headed your way. Because the world will notice when you are selected and living out your destiny. And every effort to bring you down will just make you stronger. I pray that God may provide you peace, my brothers and sisters. I'm here today to remind you of a very important fact. God's divine purpose, which is unaffected by the world's transitory worries, is the foundation of our existence. Our roots are firmly anchored in God's global truth, much like the massive oak tree, as the Bible states. Whatever is done in faith will return to God in abundant blessing. Luke chapter 6:38. His might secures every action we do and every stance we choose, and the chance to share in that benefit is now being extended to you. Recognize who you really are. Recognize the light inside yourself and realize that nothing can extinguish it. Now is your chance to shine. Now is your moment to rise above the clamor, to rise beyond the distractions, and to enter the grandeur that God has planned for you. Because you become unstoppable when you stand firmly in your identity and live in your truth. Additionally, they only serve to elevate you when they attempt to bring you down. Every obstacle and every effort to pull you down is being used by God to raise you up. Hold your head up, keep going, and know that greatness is in your future. There is yet the best to come. You've already won when you're living out your divine destiny, so you don't need to play their game. The lovely fact is that God is utilizing what they attempted to destroy for good. The exact thing that they believed would bring you down would really help you advance. Being like them was never intended for you. The route they wanted you to take was never intended for you. You were selected for a greater, divine reason. And God was busy uplifting you, while they were busy attempting to bring you down. He was preparing you for the grandeur He had in store by strengthening you with each struggle and assault. Therefore, don't consider their actions to be a setback. Don't consider their efforts to undermine you a failure. Recognize it for what it is, a disguised gift. You are being refined by the fire and made into something indestructible by the pressure. For a future beyond your wildest dreams, you are being sculpted, formed, and prepared. And when the time comes, when you'll be living out your destiny, you'll realize that all they attempted to do to you simply made you stronger. You weren't broken by them. You couldn't be broken by them, because you have been selected. Someone has phoned you, and no weapon designed to harm you will succeed. Now is your moment. It's your season, and you won't recall their win at the end of the day. It will belong to you because you, my friend, prevailed, and you remained loyal. It doesn't take a fight to rise beyond. Clarity is necessary. You showed grace, which is more potent than retribution, by refusing to be pulled into their spectacle of turmoil. As they made every effort to elicit a response, you remained calm and unaffected by their commotion. It became evident the more they thrashed. You were never the focus of their fight. Their craziness merely exposed their own instability. But you were still unaffected and unquestionably dazzling. What was meant to make you uneasy turned into a stage where you were unavoidable. They focused you instead of trying to disperse you. Their cacophony turned into an amplifier, the lesson of their machinations. Their uncertainty stands in stark contrast to your indisputable confidence. Although they made an effort to influence the decision, the truth eventually comes to light. And now everyone's eyes are on you, where they shouldn't be. Their jealousy not only made you visible, but it also made you memorable. Every effort to marginalize you just made you more noticeable, transforming contemptuous looks into accidental spotlights. Their animosity became the driving force behind your progress. They didn't realize they were laying it brick by brick, since they were too focused on attempting to obstruct your route. One thing became evident as the world began to pay attention. This was never a coincidence. No matter how much others attempt to hide them, some are designed to be seen. It took time for the change to occur, but once it did, there was no turning back. Something within awoke amid the cacophony and the diversions. A power that is both fresh and old, a knowledge that defies reason. Visions that seemed more like revelation than fantasy. The line between the past and the present started to blur. Every challenge you faced turned into a new test that you were destined to pass. The opposition you encountered wasn't a penalty. It transformed you into the powerful person you were always destined to be. It was impossible to conceal what rushed inside of you. It changed the environment around you and caused others to stop before they even realized why. The vibe in the room changed when you spoke before you did. There was no denying it. You connected with something indestructible, while others clung to flimsy strategies. The distinction was obvious. You were standing in the midst of something eternal, while others were enmeshed in transient games. You were developing beyond their grasp, while they were still mired in their own disputes. Real transformation transforms everything around it, not just the person. What others attempted to conceal was reflected back by your clarity. Your insight cut through delusions, rendering deceit helpless. And as your essence became more powerful, it attracted those who were supposed to walk with you and sent away others who had no place on your path. There was never even a competition for what they believed to be a contest. It was enlightening. And everything changed with that realization. Everything changed the instant they believed they had the advantage. Their feeling of control started to wane as the light of truth emerged, much like a seed in the ground that has been waiting for the ideal time to grow. Those who had previously remained quiet, maybe even complacent, began to lean in. not under duress or coercion, but because they were pulled to something more profound, something that could not be denied. They were able to view the world in all its hues, as if a curtain had been removed. They started to see the distinction, the stark contrast between sincerity and fabrication. It was a heart difference, not only an academic one. The second approach remained steadfast and unflinching, like a mountain against the storm, while the first attempted to manipulate and change reality to suit its purposes. They saw insecurity, the precarious base based on uncertainty and anxiety, giving way to the self-assurance that comes from realizing your own value. They seemed to sense the existence of something bigger than themselves, something unfakeable, something that grounded them in a reality too strong to deny. Additionally, the sun's brightness breaks when it rises each day. No matter how dense the clouds seem, your brilliance spreads through the gloom. The shadows of their strategies vanished as your brightness increased. Friends, let me tell you, those who are destined to be leaders do more than just draw followers. They cause motions. You turn into the spark, the very thing that lights a fire in people's hearts. It's comparable to a blossoming tree. The branches are broad and lofty, providing refuge to the lost and direction to the bewildered. And when those branches develop, they provide more than simply shade. They also provide life. They provide fruit. They provide nourishment and serve as a reminder to others of what is possible when the truth becomes ingrained in you. The environment around you transforms as well as your life when you stand in the totality of who you are. When people notice that difference, they are attracted to it. They begin to realize that the life they've been longing for is real and begin to believe. It's true. It is feasible. It's here too. The live evidence is you. The movement you are a part of moves like a river, slicing across the landscape, unstoppable and uncompromising. Your truth is uncontainable, regardless of how hard they attempt to stop you or how many barriers they erect. It resembles a powerful natural force. It's not just words when you speak. It's the live, breathing truth that reaches deep into the bones of everyone who hears it. They also hear how beautiful it is. That is impossible to fake. You may construct the biggest buildings of deception, put on a show and use all the appropriate language. But when the truth arrives and that light shines through, everything falls apart. Because you cannot hide behind the truth. You have to take a stance on it. You can't act like you're genuine. Authenticity cannot be fabricated. Because of this, when the light of your truth shines, it guides everyone who is ready to see the path, much like a lighthouse in the dark. Therefore, don't be scared to assert your authority. Don't back down. It's not just about you. You are called to affect the lives of innumerable others. There is a reason you are here. Your purpose is to help others realize the truth that has always been inside them. And the world will follow you as you live in that truth. They are being called to something bigger, to something more, not because they are being coerced. You are a powerful, bright being that is as unbreakable as his powerful rock. Feel the rewards of your kindness in your spirit. See God's marvels, and bravely and confidently light up the world. May you be blessed and follow the Lord's light. Your light will never go out, just like the sun rising over the horizon. It will continue to develop, spread, and touch hearts wherever it goes, shining without faltering. Now is your moment. This is what you were meant to do. Allow that truth to become a part of you, and see how it changes the world around you. Because when you lead with love and sincerity, you do more than simply lead. You transform the world. Furthermore, no one can ever take it away from you, my friends. For those observing, what began as their fight against you turned into a turning point. This was about something far bigger than retribution. One by one, the people who had previously engaged in the pointless chit-chat moved away from the truth, which blazed so brilliantly that it could not contain any shadows. They recognized something indisputable, not because they were ordered to, Support wasn't the only thing that aligned with you. It was a statement of what they would no longer put up with. When the tide shifted, a wave of change also started. People who were attracted to you did not just follow. They took charge of their own destiny. Others were reminded of their own strength by your tenacity, which turned into a signal. The goal was to awaken leaders, not to win over fans. They attempted to disturb the foundation underneath you, but it merely grew into something bigger than they could ever manage. Winning or losing was never the point of this. It involved completely reworking the story. Instead of just failing, their plans were discarded as relics of a bygone era. As the dust cleared, you stood firm, unaffected by their delusions, and there was only one thing left to realize. They had never been in a position of authority. They had only seen your ascent, powerlessly observing while their own endeavors failed. However, this is only the prelude. The curtain has just been raised. The world is waiting, and the stage is ready. You have power over each step that lies ahead. You are not the only one who may claim the next chapter. You have to make it.